start with you, and then
Okay.
you pass it around because I have.
Okay. So
Sean, I want you to speak.
no. Oh, hey. How you doing?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
No, I was running my.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak.
All right. No. So you got to tell me who you want me to do the well.
You do the
Erica.
elects.
All right. I'll do. You have a list. Oh. Okay.
All right, I'll get started and I'll pass it to
Okay.
you. All right, but I have LaShawn Thompson. I want to
Okay.
speak.
Got it. Yeah.
All
Whatever.
right. Is it on? Okay. Today is a very special day. I'm joined by New York City's finest, people who put their lives on the line to make sure our communities are safe. I'm humbled. In 2016, I was homeless. 2016, I actually lost the contract, had to sleep in the parking lot of JFK parking lot, the cell phone lot, if you guys know about that lot, where you have to wait for the planes. I went there every night. Fast forward into this morning where we're getting ready to cut history. Love you, Veronica. True history. I'm really at a loss of words. But I dedicate this to the memory of my father, Henry Clayton, somebody who embedded this in me. My uncle, who passed away last week, we laid him to rest. I know they're up there smiling. This is for you. I have a lot of people behind me who has believed in me, who has challenged me. Erica, where you at? Where's Erica at? I love Erica. Thank you, Erica. Lance, where you at? Woo. Thank you, brother. My Life Camp family, Kenya, my King of Kings family, my staff, thank you for you being superheroes. But I'm going to introduce, I'm going to introduce somebody, he's going to introduce everybody else, and then I'm going to have my board come in. This gentleman I've known before he got into politics. When he first decided to go into running for city council, we was at Applebee's on Jamaica Avenue having a shot.
That's right.
And I don't drink.
That was a good drink.
We are beyond proud of him. He took the mantle and created something that is incredibly special in New York City as being not only the first African American to hold the position, but to be in a position where he's creating lives and changing lives on a daily basis. So I'm going to pass the mic to my brother, your borough president, Queensborough President Donovan Richards.
Thank you. And let's give it up for Kevin, who has, because it's not about me, it's really not about the elected officials today. It's really about community. And I want to say to you, Kevin, I am so proud of you because he doesn't remember, and I was just talking about you yesterday with the mayor. You were at Carver Bank. And I never forget when he quit his job. Because I'm like, are you crazy? But he said he wanted to do something to make a difference. He felt like he could do more for the community. I don't know if you remember that conversation. That was before we went to Applebee's. But I'm beyond proud of you. Your father is shining down and smiling upon you today. Congratulations on this victory for the community. And you always get to know a person's character during crises. And most of you may remember during this pandemic, there were people, and rightfully so, people are afraid to come outside their doors. But yet there were some unsung heroes like Kevin who went into Rochdale Village with justice-involved young men and women every day to make sure that our senior citizens got a meal because they could not go to the supermarket at the height of this crisis. So thank you so much because that's what leadership is about. Today is really a special day, and I don't like to shy away from my story. I'm here because gun violence impacted my own life. You know, my friend Darnell Patterson was shot and killed when I was 18 years old. That's what led me here, into getting involved in my community and getting involved in community service and eventually running for office. So today is such a great day because we know that the police department, as great as they are, can only do what they can do. But really, we know that when you're trying to find solutions to addressing the systemic issues in our communities, that the people closest to the pain often have the solution to the pain, to the issue. And 100 suits, 100 black men. I said 100 black men, but that's right, it's 100 black men too. Right? They have the solutions. People need to see people who look like them from their community, people who've had this experience in the justice system. Validators in our communities are the answer to addressing the violence. Jobs. We're hiring people here. People say, well, how do you get people to get out of the system and not go to Rikers? You put a job in their hand. You make sure that the basic necessities that they need, housing, food, these are the solutions to addressing violence in our communities. So I know 100 suits, and I live in this neighborhood. My barbershop is right on that block. You know, we've had a lot of violence in this community. Too much. Too much. As good as this neighborhood is, we've had too many shootings, too many lives lost. So having 100 suits here, and I want to thank Councilmember Sylvina Brooks Powers, who really was a leading factor in getting the mayor to put this program here. Because we were fighting for this for a long time. But to have your organization here is going to make a huge difference in this community. It's going to make it safer because guess what? You're speaking to the people that the police department cannot speak to. They're going to be touched by what each and every one of you do. So it is a blessing to be here to see this come to fruition. You've been at this a long time. And thank you for what you do. Thank you for putting a suit on our young folks, especially our young men, who need to know that they come from a place where kings and queens come from. And when they put that suit on, they feel good about themselves. They feel confident. They could go into that job interview feeling like, you know what, I might have had a setback, but I got a comeback coming now. So thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. God bless you all. God bless Life Camp. God bless Erica Ford. This would not have started in New York City. Erica Ford was doing this work when I was in my mama's belly. She introduced my parents too, by the way. But seriously, but I want to thank you for what you've done as well, because you've started a movement, and our city is going to be better for it. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Queensboro. I want to first invite some of our electeds. I want to make some shout-outs because I can't have everybody, but there's one sister who is incredibly powerful to me, and that's Jessica Marfeld, who sat with me when I first came here to get a contract with Cure Violence, and she's been with me ever since. Thank you so much. I don't know where you at, Jessica, but thank you so much for all you do. Thank you so much for your work. We really appreciate it. All right. I would like to... All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to thank all the elected officials. We have Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman, Councilwoman Adrienne Adams, Councilwoman Sylvina Brooks Powers, Assemblymember Clyde Vernell, Assemblymember Khalil Anderson, and the Honorable Bob Glover, and then some of my mentors. I have to mention them. Dr. Williams, CEO of Opportunity for Better Tomorrow. Also, Joy Gordon, the CEO of Dress for Success, is here for me, who's been a support to me. I appreciate you all. And everybody else, I'm so sorry if I can't catch everybody. But my staff, you guys are superheroes. I love you. But here's the moment of the time. Seriously, think about this. Homeless in 2016, and have the mayor come here to ribbon cutting your location. Nobody can tell me the power of God. Many may not agree. Many may agree. Many may like him, love him. But I love the work that he's doing, the progressive work that he's done in Cure Violence and helping make sure our city go on the right path of safety. So I am beyond honored to have Mayor Bill de Blasio come to 100 Suits for our ribbon cutting. Please welcome Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Everybody, every time I stand with people who are making a difference and making a change, it moves me. So I want to thank everyone here. I want to thank you deeply, because it's a tough world out there. It's a tough world, and there's often the greatest challenge is the lack of hope. I want to just dwell on this for a really quick moment. We live in a world where we're constantly bombarded with the problems, the images that cause us pain. We didn't used to worry. A lot of us, when we were coming up, we wouldn't have used the word trauma. And now we understand a little better how traumatizing the COVID crisis has been, or tragically, the everyday violence that we've all seen in our society, and particularly our kids have seen. You would never blame someone who felt overwhelmed by that. You wouldn't blame someone who felt that there was no way to fight that torrent of negativity. But what I have seen and been moved by over these last 8 years is all the good people, like all of you here, who chose to stand up, change the paradigm, reset the equation, create hope where it didn't exist before. And this is sacred work to me. Everyone in 100 Suits, you made a decision long ago that you would not accept a broken society, that you would change it. And by your example, by your love, by your passion, by your commitment, by your energy, every day you are actually making that change. You are making that change. Everyone who sees your work starts to think a little differently. Every young person who sees your example starts to believe in themselves a little bit more. So you could say we're here for a new office. That's not what I'm feeling. I'm feeling it's a new moment. It's a moment of change. It's a new paradigm. It's a new possibility. I'm feeling that this is the way we need to go. We used to have a model where the only concept of safety was if someone showed up in a uniform. And I want to say very clearly, there is such important work that people in a uniform do. God bless the people who keep us safe. We need them to do it in a way that respects communities, in a way that is compassionate and not discriminatory. And so many people in uniform strive every day to do it the right way. And we honor them, we thank them, we need them. But we also have come to a new realization. That's not the only definition of public safety. That's the bottom line. In fact, it can no longer be the only definition of public safety because it doesn't work to only have safety created when someone shows up in a uniform. In fact, the truest, best way to create a safe and positive society is from the people, is from the community, is from the grassroots. We are learning this together, but the reason I wanted to be with you, besides thanking you, is that we have a task ahead to explain this to the people in New York City and ultimately this nation, that there is a different way. Now, I will remind you what you're doing is going to change hearts and minds because people will see a new way. It will be proven by your work. And then people will believe we can do something better. And we are not just doing this anywhere. What you are doing here in the borough of Queens, what you are doing here in New York City will reverberate all over this nation. All over this nation. There is a phrase, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Right? You are proving that the community-based solution to violence is the first and most necessary solution. And I don't blame anyone out there who hasn't experienced it and therefore doesn't feel it or understand it yet. Because I went on my own journey over 8 years. But once you see it, once you feel it, you never go back because this is the best way. And this is also a beautiful way because each person teaches the next. Talk about the concept, teach a man to fish. Each person who participates in this sacred work convinces the next person to participate and the next person and the next person. So, everybody, I'm just moved by your commitment. I'm moved by your ability to give everyone else the thing they need most right now, which is hope. I'm moved because I know everyone here, you are saving lives right now, and in the months ahead, you're going to save more lives. People will be alive because of you. Families will be whole. Kids will choose a positive path who might have been pulled in the wrong direction because you are here. So I'm going to call upon another public servant. Before I do, I just want to say God bless you all. I thank you for what you do. I am honored to be in your presence. And one more thing, I think my sister Erica will agree. One more thing. Every single dollar we have spent, community-based solutions to violence, every dollar on the crisis management system and the Cure Violence movement, every single dollar has been worth it. And we need to put a lot more money where the solutions are, because this is the solution. This is the way forward. Someone who's been fighting in the city council, she is new, but she is acting with extraordinary passion and energy and understands that we've got to create a new paradigm. And I got to tell you, some of us have been in public service a long time, and that's great. When you get the fresh blood in who sees we can do things differently, it really, really helps. So someone who is really prioritizing these kind of solutions and pushing us all to go farther, I want to thank her for her leadership. I want to bring up Councilmember Sylvina Brooks Powers.
I'm not as tall as you, Mr.
That's right.
Mayor.
It's like you're not blocking me.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for coming out to Southeast Queens and celebrating this special occasion. And why it's a special occasion is because it's a new day for the community of Laurelton as it pertains to how we address gun violence in our community. I want to first recognize Kevin. You are someone who I have, like our borough president, watched over the years come with a fire in your belly that you could see from miles away. Your passion runs deep for this community and wanting to make sure that we help Black and brown children live. Amen. And so Amen. I want to commend you for this work. And you're right, your dad and your uncle are smiling down on you. You've built a staff really quickly, and you're really in the trenches. I also want to recognize the entire CMS family that's here standing in solidarity with you. We have Erica here, who I've known since I was an intern in the state Senate 20 years ago, as well as, where's Lance? Lance Furtado, who started my work in the gun violence movement when we were working on Operation Snug during my time in the Senate. This is an issue that in our community, we've been, in most cases, on both sides of it, right? We've known people who have unfortunately been the shooters for one reason or another because of some underlying conditions in our community. We've been impacted by victims. More recently, I know I was shaken by the loss of a 10-year-old in my district, Justin Wallace. That reignited the flame in me to do all that I can to be able to combat gun violence. And I know it takes a community, and that's why I'm so happy to stand in solidarity with my partners in government that are here, who have been doing this work also for an extremely long time. And we've been working together and will continue to work together to find ways to address the root causes that lead people to pick up the gun. I think back to my best friend at 18 who was sentenced to 45 years because of gun violence. When someone shoots that gun, it doesn't just take away the life of the victim. It takes away the shooter's life and the families of both sides that are impacted. And it ricochets throughout our community and has a lasting impact. And that is why it is so important to support models like this. So some people, Mayor, you're right, they don't understand. The hearts and the minds need to be convinced as to why programs like this deserve the funding that they get. But we have to look at the root causes so we catch them early. So when they are young, they know they can walk on our blocks and be safe and get home safely. As a mother, I want my child to get home safely every day. As the wife of a Black man, I want him to get home safely every day. And this is why this work is so in my heart right now and has been for quite some time. And so this is the symbol to our community that it is a new day. We have a presence that has come to the community with this beautiful sign that's here. I've already seen how it's been impacting the community and people just stopping by like, what is this, and wanting to learn more. So the work continues. I thank everyone for coming out and celebrating this day, but there's so much work to be done, and we only could do it together. Amen. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're about to cut the ribbon here, but I want to let people know, because I think I'll be remiss if I do not allow some of the electeds in this area to speak, because they're the reasons why we're here, and they fought for me to be here, and they fought to give me the resources to be here, so I thank them for that. And I'm also cutting this ribbon in the memory of our brother, Kenneth P. Thompson, the first black district attorney of Brooklyn. This is cut in his ribbon. We're joined by his beautiful wife, LaShawn Thompson. We thank you, LaShawn, for all you do, you know. But yeah, this is cut in memory of Kenneth P. Thompson. But I do want to ask just 30 seconds if you can. I'm so sorry, guys. I love you all. But I really want them to say a couple of words. So we start with Adrian, and Adrian can pass it down.
She wasn't ready.
They over 30 seconds. Y'all start beatboxing.
Good morning, everyone, and what a glorious day it is. We are here, you know, it's a monumental moment, and this brother, Kevin Livingston, for those of you that know him, let me just tell you something. I was chairperson of Community Board 12 for some years, and there was a young man that would always come into the meetings, and he always had on a suit. And we always knew Kevin in the distance. We were like, here comes Kevin Livingston, and he's wearing his suit. And Kevin's suit was a statement. Kevin's life is a statement. Kevin's presence is a testament of where he has come from, what he has seen, and what he believes in his heart. And I can tell you, as a mother of a young male, he's a grown man now, but a young male who grew up in Jamaica, and I watched him from a little boy and the influence in his family with his father and I and his siblings. But I watched what the environment can do to young black boys. In my home, I watched the influence of the outside come inside in the transformation of our little boy that wanted to be what the street wanted him to be. And so that influence impacts everyone. There is no perfect person. There is no perfect parent, and certainly there is no perfect community. But I tell you today that because of 100 Suits, because of Life Camp, because of King of Kings, this community is going to stand tall, and it is going to produce black and brown children who understand that there is another way to go besides peer pressure that is pulling them backwards, but there is love pressure that is going to propel them forward. And so we move with 100 Suits today. We strengthen Brother Kevin Livingston in his suit today, as we strengthened him and as God called him, and he's got new suits. Erica. He's got new suits. And new shoes, Mayor. So we're going to continue to do our part, but we're here to bless this beautiful ribbon cutting today. God bless you, Kevin. God bless you, 100 Suits. I love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to have our Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman, who represents this area. Thank you so much.
I just want to say very quickly, thank you for all who are gathered, but thank you to the soldiers, the men and women, that after all the cameras are gone and after all the speeches, it is them who are in the streets helping to make sure that our communities remain safe. And I just pray for protection over all of you, because you are putting your minds and bodies out there in the evenings, at night, on the weekends, to get this work done. So we have to make sure as legislators, we make sure the dollars keep coming and do our fair share to make sure we lift you up, because we are only but a phone call away. This is the 29th Assembly District. Welcome, everyone. And so after this is done, we have to make sure that our young people continue to thrive And we have to make sure our schools, we didn't talk about education at all. You know me, I'm the education advocate. We have to make sure our schools are safe places, that gang violence does not go in the building, it stays outside, and that we tackle the outside. So our children go into these classrooms maxed up and making sure that they are safe and that they thrive. And to the 105th Precinct and the Community Affairs Department, thank you for working hand in hand with our CMS officers to make sure that they are safe on the ground, protecting our streets so that people understand these are our streets. We don't want the violence here. We want you to understand we're here to make you thrive and grow, not shoot and kill each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we're going to ask Assemblymember Clyde Vannell, followed by State Senator Leroy Comrie.
First of all, today is a good day in our community. Today is a very good day in our community. When we look at the ravaging gun violence in our community, a lot of people ask, what are we doing? What are we doing in the community? But people don't know all the work that we've been doing in our community. With the work of Life Camp, with the work of King of Kings and 100 Suits. We want to make sure that people say that an ounce of prevention is much better than trying to cure something. And we have been working to prevent a lot of this violence. To see that the public officials and everybody finally realize that we must put more resources behind cure violence. We must put more resources to make sure that we prevent this violence. So today is a good day, and we stand here in solidarity with 100 Suits and everybody else and all the soldiers on the streets to make sure that we have a great community, we love our community, and we're going to stand strong for our future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, Senator Comrie.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm so glad to be here this morning, even though I've been late all week for everything. But, you know, Kevin Livingston is an example of what happens when we listen to our young people. Because when Kevin first came on the scene, he was a lone voice in the wilderness. There was Erica ahead of him, and there was, excuse me, and there was also the Furtado brothers ahead of him. But Kevin had a different vision. He had a different idea about how to make things happen. And this is what happens. He came in, and he came in blazing on me the first time I met him. He was like, this is what has to happen. You got to do this now. I'm like, whoa. But he still does that. But it only shows that we're a family because we listen. And, you know, and everybody knows I have a laid-back style. So the first time you blaze on me, I get quiet. He couldn't understand me getting quiet. But I can say I've never failed this young man in anything that he's asked me to do because he's had a vision. He's about the community. This is about building, and where we are now with the Cure Violence. I want to thank Mayor de Blasio for embracing the Cure Violence concept. I want to thank the other elected officials around the city and the country that are embracing the Cure Violence concept. Sister Erica Ford and I have known each other since neither one of us had gray hair. And she's been pushing this Cure Violence concept. And now she's working on new projects every minute to make sure that we can continue to ensure that we lessen the amount of young people that are out here with nothing to do. It just aches my heart that when I go around the community and see kids getting out of school at 12 o'clock with nothing to do. There's not enough programming in Southeast Queens. We don't have enough after schools. We don't have enough Ys. We only have one half a pool. There's a lot that we need to do in resourcing in our community to make sure we give these children alternate opportunities to have a good life. And that's what Kevin is all about. He's been working to grab young people and giving them an opportunity to have a better life, to take them out the situation that they may be in and give them some opportunity, give them some self-esteem, give them some self-pride. So I'm so glad to be here today to thank him for continuing to stay strong in his mission and to pledge my continuing support for whatever it is that Kevin or any other young person with an idea in our community wants to do. Because it's all about listening to our young people and following their vision and their lead so that we can have a stronger, better community. Thank you all for being here this morning. Thank you for supporting Kevin. Thank you, Mayor de Blasio. Thank you, Borough President. Thank you, Assembly members and council member. And thank you all, especially all the young people that are here today that have embraced this mission and are looking to do things to make our community a better place. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. So before our last person, before we do the ribbon cut, I want to give a shout out to these young kings right here. You know, give a shout out to them. Salute to you, King. All right. Smart, young, trendy, cool, educated hip hop. Salute, kings. We do this work for you. That's right. Right on. Which is a great segue to who's going to close us out before we do the ribbon cutting. Shout out to Patrick Jenkins. Thank you so much for all your support. Love you. Amelia, shout out. Adrian, love you. This man I'm incredibly proud of. He is the youngest legislator ever voted in the state of New York. Give it up for that. We work with young men who look like him, same age as him, but on the other side of the fence, he shows his presence is what hope looks like. And it's our job and our duty to propel him at this age. So please give it up for Assemblyman Khalil Anderson.
All right. Good morning, Kevin. Thank you so much. Can we give Kevin a round of applause? Fall Rock in the house. That's right, BP. So my name is Khalil Anderson, and I'm the New York State Assembly member for the 31st District. I'm here in the 29th District this morning, uplifting and empowering our Assembly member, but also uplifting Kevin Livingston, who is bringing a resource to our community. Today is a milestone because what we're saying today by opening up this crisis management system, a part of the crisis management system, we're saying that safety does not just have to be synonymous with policing. We're saying that resources also mean safety in our community. We're saying that investment also means safety in our community. We're saying that these two young brothers who are here with us today can become the next state assembly member, can become the next city council member, can become the next state senator, because they will be protected and they'll be able, and borough president and mayor, because they'll be able to be protected and they will live in this community. They won't be subjected to gun violence. They won't lose their lives before their whole future that's ahead of them is taken away. We want to make sure that they're uplifted and empowered, and that's why we're here today, because today is an investment in their futures. Today's an investment to make sure that more young people can be a part of these discussions. Today's an investment in resources in our community. And I'm so grateful that Kevin Livingston had the foresight to push our elected leaders before us to say that this is how we resolve conflict in our community. Every time I go to a shooting response in my district, I always say the same thing. Conflict is a natural part of human existence. And it's how we resolve that conflict as a community that'll move us forward. We're always going to have conflict. It's always going to exist. But we have to look at alternative ways of resolving it. And this center right here behind us, 100 suits and 100 men, is going to be the way we do that. Investing in the crisis management system is going to be the way we do that. So I thank you so much, Kevin, for your fight, for your investment. I thank my colleagues in government. And let's continue to redefine safety by investing resources in our community.
So I'm going to ask if we can stretch out the cord. We're going to be followed. We're going to do a tour with the mayor, and I'm going to ask Erica to be a part of that. Thank you for your vision, Erica. Seriously. We may not agree, but you put something in this world, and I thank you for that. Like it or not, I'll pull you in there. All right. On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1.
They taught us in school. Don't mess with those things, Kevin.